You can't fake a heartbeat, and you certainly can't control the microscopic muscles around your pupils, which means that even if someone is a professional liar with a perfectly steady voice, their eyes are screaming the truth that their mouth is trying to hide. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but in the world of behavioral psychology, they're more like a leaked document, because while you can train your voice to be steady and force your hands to stop shaking, you cannot control the autonomic nervous system that governs your ocular response, which is why their eyes give them away every single time. Whether it's a lie, a hidden attraction, or a silent threat, people use unconscious ocular signals when they think they're hiding their true intentions, starting with pupil dilation, which is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system and expands when you see something you like or someone you're attracted to, a phenomenon often called bedroom eyes in social contexts. Yet these same pupils can shrink into a sharp pinpoint during a surge of fear or sudden hostility as the body prepares for a fight or flight response. Beyond the pupils, the average human blinks 15 to 20 times per minute as a natural physiological reset. But when the brain is working under heavy cognitive load to construct a complex lie, the blink rate actually decreases significantly because the person is so focused on the narrative details that they literally forget to blink, only for the rate to skyrocket into a frantic compensatory flutter of up to 80 blinks per minute the moment the lie is completed and the person feels a momentary sense of relief. This cognitive load is also visible in gaze direction through the lens of neuro-linguistic programming, where the old myth says looking up and to the left always means a lie, but the reality is more nuanced. People generally shift their eyes toward their dominant recall side to access stored sensory data and toward their construct side to imagine or create new information. Meaning if a simple question about their whereabouts leads to a long, rhythmic trip to the construction side, they aren't remembering a memory, but are instead engineering a reality in real time. Interestingly, many people think liars look away out of guilt, so high-stakes deceivers often overcompensate by engaging in aggressive eye contact, locking their gaze for much longer than a natural 3 to 5 second window to monitor your reaction and see if you are buying their story, creating an intense, unblinking stare down that feels more like a predatory interrogation than a natural social interaction. We must also consider the squint of suspicion, where the lower eyelids tighten, narrowing the field of vision to focus intensely on a perceived threat or a point of disagreement, a signal that often precedes a verbal confrontation or a complete shutdown in communication. Furthermore, the concept of eye accessing cues suggests that our eyes move in patterns that reflect how we process thoughts. Whether we are visualizing an image, hearing a sound, or feeling an emotion, and when these patterns are broken or reversed, it signals a major shift in the internal psychological state of the individual. In professional settings, observing the social triangle, the movement of eyes between the two eyes and the mouth, can tell you if a person is in a friendly, professional, or intimate headspace. And if they suddenly break this triangle to look at the floor or a distant object, they are likely experiencing internal shame or trying to hide a sudden spike in anxiety. The complexity of the micro-tremor in the eyelid is another giveaway, a tiny, involuntary twitch often invisible to the untrained eye that signifies high-level stress that the person is trying to suppress through sheer willpower. However, the golden rule for any investigator or student of human behavior is to never judge someone by a single signal like a blink, which could just be dust or a contact lens issue, but rather to look for a cluster of indicators, such as dilated pupils combined with a construction side gaze and an unnatural forced stare, because these clusters provide the statistical probability that you are witnessing a genuine psychological leak. The eyes are the only part of the human brain that is directly exposed to the outside world, acting as a biological direct feed of the subconscious mind. And because they lack the capacity for conscious deception in the same way the tongue does, they remain the most honest part of the human anatomy. Therefore, if you want to master the art of reading people and protecting yourself from manipulation, you must learn to ignore the words and watch for these involuntary ocular patterns before a single syllable is even spoken. By understanding the science of the ocular lock, the blink spike, and the pupillary flash, You gain an almost supernatural advantage in every conversation, allowing you to see the hidden emotions that people work so hard to bury beneath the calm exterior, proving that while the mouth may lie, the eyes are incapable of keeping a secret for long.